need to rekey the system.
Do it and find out where we are.
Sorry for the quick jump, Sergeant. You in one piece?
I'm good. Chief?
We're fine.
Ma'am, there's an object coming into view now.
Cortana, what exactly am I looking at?
That is another Halo.
Say what?
So this is what my father found. I thought Halo was some sort of super weapon.
It is. If activated, this ring will cause destruction on a galactic scale.
I want all the information you've got on the first Halo. Schematic, topography, whatever. I don't care if I have the clearance or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's our target?
The enemy ship is stopped above the ring, ma'am. We're going to pass right over it.
Perfect. Given what we know about this ring, it's even more important that we capture the Prophet of Regret. Find out why he came to Earth, why he came here.
Chief, take first platoon. Hard drop. Secure a landing zone. Sergeant, load up 2 flights of Pelicans and follow them in.
Aye, aye, ma'am.
Till I can move and fight, I'm going to keep a low profile. Once you leave the ship, you're on your own.
Understood.
Over the target in 5.
Hang on to your helmet. Mind the bump.
Could we possibly make any more noise? I guess so.
Bloody fuck!
Artillery disabled, Sergeant. Landing zone secure for the moment.
I hear you. Starting our approach. Hang tight.
Easier said than done. Inbound Phantoms, Chief.
Get ready, man! Eyes up, boy!
Another Phantom on approach.
Hey, there's another one! Bloody alien!
Hold here until the Pelican arrives, Chief. Let's wait for our warthog, unless you really want to walk.
Whoa! It's like a postcard. Here comes our ride! Dear Sarge! Kicking ass in outer space? Wish you were here.
I heard that, jackass! I got a good view coming in. There's a big building in the middle of this island's lake.
I saw it too. It looked like a temple. If I were a megalomaniac, and I'm not, that's where I'd be. bottle us up on this side of the gorge. The controls to extend the bridge should be in this structure. Watch out, Chief. Wraiths on the far side.
Regarding the history of the Covenant and its glorious founding species, the Sanshayum and Sanghili, the record of punished deeds would not be sufficient without a word on the Arbiter. Not the consignment of shame that it is currently, but what came before, the legendary warriors of Sanghili past. Before the Covenant, the Sanghili ruled their world with pride and vigilance, surviving the perils of both land and sea. These were the arbiters of old, part king, part judge, warrior rulers, unlike any of which would follow. When we arrived on their frontier world of Ulgathon, the cost of life was severe. Led by a mighty Arbiter, the Sanghili resisted our entreatment with ruthless force, leading to decades of war. We would eventually triumph, of course. And when we did, we would not ignore the mantle of the Arbiter. Like all things, we would bend the Sanghili to our own ends. The Arbiters would become the very will of the Prophets.
Good, the bridge is down. Now about those wraiths.
Roger that. Armor's on the way.
we're coming up on another structure. Pelican inbound. Let's clear a landing zone.
Chief, could you kill all those things? That would really be awesome.
Move up, Marines.
Right, Bungie, they're all pouring out of the middle! Let's get in there!
The Covenant holed up in the middle of this structure. We need to clear them out.
Good shooting, sir.
Come on, sir, that was mine!
You always bring me to such nice places. Well, good. Still no word about In Amber Clad on the Covenant BattleNet. It's odd. The Covenant know we made landfall, but they don't seem to consider us a very serious threat. Boy, are they in for a big surprise.
Watch yourself. Honor guard.
Feel yourself. Maintain discipline.
Wait, go back. That's what I thought he said. The Prophet of Regret is planning to activate Halo.
Are you sure?
I shall light this holy ring, release its cleansing flame, and burn a path into the divine beyond.
Pretty much.
Commander, we've got a problem.
So I hear. But from what I understand, the Prophet will need an object, the Index, to activate the ring. I've located a library similar to the one you found on the first Halo. If the rings work the same way, the Index should be inside.
I'll bet the Covenant are thinking the exact same thing.
Then we better beat them to it, Sergeant. Extract your men and meet me at the library.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll secure the Index, Chief. You take out the Prophet. He's given us all the intel we need.
Hey, I got one! It's right behind me, Chase. Don't eat it over here! All right.
Seamus!
Just now. Is it over?
You know, I think the Forerunners built these new structures around the old to protect them, honor them. Pure speculation, mind you. I need to make a thorough survey to be sure.
Watch where you're firing! Stupid animal! I gotta put this inside. What do you got? Make him Bye-bye! Don't stop! Now I'm gonna die! I know I'm gonna die! Did we make it? You picked a really bad week to piss me off. You think they'll ever learn? Heavy inbound.
Cortana, the Covenant's getting nosy. I don't want to give away my position, so I'm rerouting a few stragglers back to you. I apologize. These Pelicans are all the support you're gonna get.
Understood, ma'am.
Gondola is launching from the far towers. Big surprise, it's full of Covenant reinforcements.
I see him too! I'm hit!
Enough to bring us a ride.
Chief and I are making you hurt. You mess with me, you mess with the Chief. Why did everyone stop shooting?
This lake couldn't have been formed by volcanic action, which means it was either built this way on purpose or was created by some other cataclysmic event. I'm sorry, were you trying to kill something?
Hostiles located.
Well,
Ah, now I see. There's a submerged section that connects these towers to the outlying structures. Looks like we're going down. Unless you'd prefer to swim. I've intercepted a secure transmission from Regret's carrier to something called High Charity. It seems to be a formal apology to the prophets of truth and mercy. Apparently, Regret jumped the gun when he attacked Earth. He's asking the other prophets to forgive his premature arrival, arguing that no human presence was foretold. That explains why there were so few ships in his fleet. But it's odd a prophet would have such bad intel about his enemy's homeworld.
Prepare yourself!
And people say I've got a big head.
For generations, our holy arrangement put the prophets in charge of religion and technology. The elites led our military forces to convert new species and find relics such as your halo.
And these relics you sought, the San Shayum, your prophets, told you that they would lead you on this great journey?
Yes. Transcendence, eternal life. Their promises were endless. We gave up our old ways to follow the prophet's lead on the great journey. Gave up all of our history. All of our traditions.
Not all of your traditions, it seems. This Arbiter you mentioned, hasn't that always been a position of power for your species?
Power? It was long ago. An Arbiter was once the pinnacle of our people, leader of the clans, and master of the battlefield. But then, an Arbiter committed heresy, and an example was made of him.
Heresy?
He challenged the word of the prophets. Challenged and lost. So the title of Arbiter became a badge of shame for our most spectacularly failed warriors.
Yes. They were accomplished manipulators. Back before the firing of the array. I see at least that hasn't changed.
Manipulators? What? And before? Before when?
I will explain later. Right now, I want you to tell me everything you can of these Arbiters.
Most of those we encountered on our search were compelled to join our union, to take part in a movement that promised freedom for allegiance, salvation for service. But some, like the humans, chose to impede our progress, block our access to sacred sites, damage holy relics. For their transgressions, the humans shall be hunted until none remain alive.
Regret's carrier just received a response from High Charity. A very well-encrypted message from the Prophet of Truth. Listen to this. Your haste has jeopardized the fulfillment of our covenant, threatened our grand design. That you shall be spared a public display of our contempt is thanks only to Mercy and his wise counsel. Truth, Mercy, Regret. 3 prophet hierarchs. Killing Regret should shake up the covenant leadership. But frankly, it sounds like you might be doing Truth a favor.
member of the Covenant shall walk the path. None will be left behind in our great journey to kin. That is the Prophet's age-old promise, and it shall be fulfilled!
Great journey? Doesn't he know what these rings do?
This is my last run, Chief. I'm nearly out of fuel. We've secured the first tower cluster, so I'll set down there. Call when you're ready for evac.
Jackass!
Got another hostile! We got trouble!
How's it going, you two? So far, so good. We're approaching the main temple now. Roger that. I'm as close to the library as I can get. There's some sort of barrier. We're trying to find a way around it. I'll keep you posted.
Another contact!
Back! Yes, back!
The largest Covenant fleet I've ever seen. The largest anyone's ever seen. Get inside the temple and kill Regret before it can stop us.
Look at the size of that thing!
By the prophet.
The Covenant fleet has launched multiple waves of phantoms. Be ready for me to track. We don't have much time.
There are honor guards all over this place. Watch your back.
Maintain discipline. Cannot escape now. Grenade!
Great journey will not be postponed!
There's the target. Take him out.
Guards! Remove this vermin from my sight! Human filth! You befoul this holy place!
Help me!
Incompetence! I'll kill it myself! You shall not hide from me, demon! You dare to interrupt my sermon! Warriors, attack! The demon must die!
His throne is shielded. It's deflecting everything you throw at it.
Get in close and do whatever you can. That means the Phantoms are turning around, the fleet is preparing to fire on our position. We need to get out of here.
This is not your grave. But you are welcome in it.
This is unprecedented. Unacceptable.
The Hierarch is dead, Commander.
His murderer was within our grasp. If you had not withdrawn our phantoms...
Are you questioning my decision?
No, Holy One. I only wish to express my concern that the brutes...
Recommissioning the Guard was a radical step. But recent events have made it abundantly clear that the elites can no longer guarantee our safety.
I shall relay your decision to the Council.
Politics, how tiresome. Do you know, Arbiter, the elites have threatened to resign, to quit the High Council, because of this exchange of hats?
We have always been your protectors.
These are trying times for all of us.
Even as the humans' annihilation filled us with satisfaction, the loss of one of the sacred rings racked our hearts with grief.
Putting aside our sorrow, we renewed our faith in the prophecy that other rings would be found, and see how our faith has been rewarded.
Halo, its divine wind will rush through the stars, propelling all who are worthy along the path to salvation.
But how to start this process? For ages we searched for one who might unlock the secrets of the rings. An oracle. And with your help we found it.
With appropriate humility, we plied the Oracle with questions, and it, with clarity and grace, has shown us the key.
You will journey to the surface of the ring and retrieve this sacred icon. With it, we shall fulfill our promise.
Salvation for all.
And begin the great journey.
Once the shield is down, we will head straight to the library. I do not wish to keep the Hierarchs waiting.
The human that killed the Prophet of Regret. Who was it?
Who do you think?
The demon is here?
Why? Looking for a little payback?
Retrieving the icon is my only concern.
Of course.
Summon the shield, Arbiter! power source, Arbiter. Overload the locks holding it in place. It's useless to attack it and force it from the front, especially with their shields on. Stay in the shadows, wait and strike the beast when its back is turned. One more, Arbiter. Release the power source. Now, find a way to remove it from its cradle. Our path to the library is clear. We'll pick you up on the ledge ahead. Blasted machine! Make your own way to the wall, Arbiter.
We'll hold out as long as we can. Get her off me! Suppressive fire! Suppressive fire!
holy city was not always as it is, nor was the Covenant. At one time, it was only San Shayum and Sanghili, but as we grew, and new species were added to our number, radical steps had to be taken. Our first encounter with the Lek Golo was an effort in futility. The blasphemous creatures had devoured a Forerunner orbital, shattering its remains into 1 trillion pieces. What was left became the Rings of Te. As no conventional methods could purge the rings of their infestation, we sent one of our most faithful, an Arbiter. For a full year, this Arbiter ventured across the surface of one of their moons, learning both their strengths and their weaknesses. It was there that we discovered the Lek Golo's secret. Although some of their kind rightly bore the blame for the orbital's desecration, others had only devoured around the Forerunner materials. And with reasoning and much labor, these could be used to serve the Covenant. And by these means, the great Arbiter had given us one of our most sought-after treasures, access to innumerable processing pathways of the mighty Forerunner Dreadnought, and to the many secrets it held.
coward. All right,
Arbiter, what are you doing here?
Let's hold this camp until reinforcements.
In the center of this zone is a sacred icon critical to the great journey. I must find it.
We shall cut into the heart of this infestation, retrieve the icon, and burn any flood that stand in our way. The parasite is not to be trifled with. I hope you know what you're doing.
Forward, warriors, and fear not pain or death. Go, Arbiter. I'll follow when our reinforcements arrive.
Enforcers, to the vehicles, taking their heavy guns. Onward to the sacred icon!
It is most unusual that in all the exploits of these Arbiters, you never mention their role in choosing their missions of redemption.
There is no role, Oracle. Once one of our commanders becomes an Arbiter, he belongs to the Hierarchs.
These Hierarchs, they are the same High Prophets who control all the holy relics you collect from my time?
The same.
And they use these relics to build your new weapons and bring you the word of your gods?
It has always been so.
Interesting. Am I a holy relic?
I do not understand.
Because I am certainly not a god. I am a tool, as is this mining platform you stand upon, as was the installation that once orbited the planet. The Forerunner's technology is lasting and indeed quite powerful, but I'm quite certain they would have told me if I was infused with some kind of divine power. I suspect some of your prophets may have been quite aware of how much divine inspiration tools such as myself could provide. And you never questioned these proclamations. Even your mightiest warriors, these Arbiters, never questioned?
Questioning was what brought shame to the word Arbiter long ago, Oracle.
How disappointing.
I fear now that there are many questions we should have been asking for a long, long time.
I would be more than happy to answer any such questions, but I have a few more for you. Continue your tale of these Arbiters.
More humans. They must be after the icon. On your way, Arbiter. I'll deal with these beasts.
I see that tower didn't join you. I'll do what I can to keep the flood off your back.
The higher-ups do not look kindly on failure. I grow restless without a target. Look, up ahead. The parasite gathers for an attack.
You know, your father never asked me for help either.
The index is secure.
Mackenzie, Perez, how's our exit? You hear me, Marines? We got trouble. How you doing?
Sergeant, stay down! Johnson, you all right? Johnson!
Excellent work, Arbiter. The Hierarchs will be pleased. Zircon is my responsibility. Was your responsibility? Now it is mine. A bloody fate awaits you and the rest of your incompetent race. And I, Tartarus, chieftain of the brutes, will send you to it. And the prophets learn of this, that they will take your head when they learn. Fool. They ordered me to do it.